Now, when you buy something on a website, maybe you order a takeaway or a taxi via an app, do you ever think of how the money actually gets from your bank to the retailer that's selling you that thing? Well, we might take it all for granted, but it really has transformed the way that we shop.
Yeah, the number of non-cash transactions is expected to grow nearly 11% over the next few years. There will be over 725 billion transactions a year. There's the number. By 2020.
Yeah, emerging markets are where that big growth is coming from. Over 211 billion of those payments are expected to take place in emerging Asian markets.
Well, one business that's cashing in is Checkout.com. Launched in 2012, it processes online payments on behalf of retailers, including Deliveroo, Samsung, Virgin, Adidas. You're wondering who the gentleman here next to us is? Well, I'm glad you asked. It's Guillaume Pousaz, who's the company's founder. Guillaume, welcome to Business Live. What was it that made you think, what I really want to do is set up an online payment transactions company?
So to be perfectly honest, there was no real plan for this in the first place. I was surfing in California, failed university, and ended up in a job in a payments company. The numbers were astronomical like nearly 10 years ago. So I realized, the opportunity is there and, a lot of hard work and got me to London and started a business here.
We talked there in the introduction about we might take this sort of thing for granted, don't we? We just click a few buttons on a website or on our smartphone and you can buy this stuff and the money magically gets there. That's entirely what you do. Just talk me through what it is you do. How does it work?
So let's say you order a pizza on Deliveroo. Somebody has to take the card, encrypt it. That's us. If you're a new buyer, we have to run a lot of checks to make sure that you're a good buyer. Then we have to send it to the systems of Visa, MasterCard, Alipay, WeChat Pay, whatever the payment method you have decided to pay with. Then we have to say to Deliveroo that ultimately you're a good buyer, so that you're up for the money. And then, Deliveroo can ship your pizza. Within 24 hours, Deliveroo will get their money minus the commission, essentially.
And that process must happen in a blink of an eye.
In milliseconds. Yeah, the 30 seconds load time, this is something of the past. I mean, this is like...
in terms of the profitability of something like that, presumably you make such a small fraction on each individual transaction. You need a critical mass to make it viable, to make it worth your while.
So this is absolutely correct. One thing is like historically, the legacy players in our industry were actually layering different technologies on top of each other. We built everything from the ground up. So this is why, we're a bit on the really B2B side. And fundamentally, we are a technology company. So removing the layers allows you to optimize the cost. That's a first. And obviously, then it's the unit economics means that you need to grow the business enormously for it to be profitable.
And there's competition in this market, isn't it? We said, we take it for granted, but there are other firms that do this. So if I'm a retailer, if I'm Deliveroo or Adidas, some of your clients, why would they use you rather than someone else?
So fundamentally, these retailers are trying to disrupt, the statu quo. They've tried to reinvent business models. I fully respect the banks, the high street, but the truth is they tend to do things the old way.
Right.
We have taken a very modern and technical approach to solving the problem, going especially in, cross-border, selling in 20 countries, from one single API and, single approach. And this has really yielded good results for us. We started with true tech companies, and then, Virgin, Easy Group came to us to ultimately get the same benefits of the guys that are leading the change in the way people commerce today.
Guillaume, you recently invested in London in quite a big way. Your office space in Fitzrovia in central London. When others are having perhaps concerns about the uncertainty around Brexit and all the rest of that, what was it that made you think, no, London and the UK is still the place to be?
London has the best developers as far as we're concerned in Europe. We had great success here. It's the hub for fintechs, so there's a lot of experience. And clearly, when you serve enterprise clients, you want the best developers for them and the best technology. There is no way to take shortcuts for enterprise clients. So I'd rather have less developers but really good ones and continue in London. We have the license here. We continue to expand in the UK. We're committed even post-Brexit. I think it's a long-term investment.
You talk about being in London, but you obviously have offices around the world. And this, we were chatting earlier, and you told me you spend about 300 days a year on the road, and we worked that out. So it's 10 times around the world every single year. How the heck do you do that? How do you cope with that?
Basically, I run every morning. It's the only way to wake up. Coffee doesn't really work at some point, and it's a proper hygiene of life. You got to be serious about it. It's running in the morning. It's the FaceTime with my kids in the evening. It's really important. It's me to sleep, and I think it's at the end of the day, you need to do what your business requires you to do. We go from Hong Kong to San Francisco. I was 9 times in California this year already. it's like a lot of travels.
Do you still find time to surf?
Unfortunately, not as much as I would like to. I'll be
Not
honest with you.
surprised.
My wife tries to take me on holiday once in a while, but I'm more attached to my phone, sadly. So, if you have to, I'd rather put the kids first. I think it's the best way to put it.
Well, thank you for dropping in and seeing us on your world travels.
Thank you very much.
Thanks so much.
Thank you.